Clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $19.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you out of hell. Alrighty, boob tubes, another one of Kip's clips, and hopefully the tweeters as well. Now that that place is fun again. So I've just woke up, throw some water on my face, to be met with the great news that the Supreme Court has shot down little Jimmy Cranky, aka Nicola, the DICKtator, Nicola Sturgeon's want for a third in a lifetime. Yep, I'm not making that up. Third in a lifetime. She wanted a third in a lifetime referendum. You couldn't make that shit up. Only for politicians do you get that kind of pish. Anyway, so it's been slapped down, thank fuck. So little Jimmy Cranky can get back in her box and maybe get on with dealing with her constituency. Because it's a shithole full of shite. Govan Hill, used to stay there myself. It's a fucking dump. And apparently it's more of a dump now than it was when I stayed in it. But anyway, that aside, let's have a wee shifty at what's going on, John.
Good morning and welcome to BBC News. The UK's highest court has ruled that the Scottish Government cannot hold a second independence referendum without permission from Westminster. The First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, had wanted to hold a vote next October. This morning, she said that the ruling exposed what she called the myth of the UK as a voluntary partnership. At Westminster, the Scotland Secretary Alistair Jack said the UK government would continue to work constructively with the Scottish Government. Well, Lord Reid is the President of the Supreme Court and he delivered the court's ruling earlier.
The court unanimously concludes that the proposed bill does relate to reserved matters. Accordingly, in the absence of any modification of the definition of reserved matters by an order in council under Section 30 of the Scotland Act or otherwise, the Scottish Parliament does not have the power to legislate for a referendum on Scottish independence.
Well, let's cross to Edinburgh and speak to our Scotland correspondent Alexandra Mackenzie, who's at the Scottish Parliament. Alexandra, welcome to you. So, a definitive ruling by the Supreme Court, one that Nicola Sturgeon says she will respect. Just explain what it means.
Yeah, so I'm here at a rather blustery
Shouldn't take a piss, but I can't help but laugh.
Unanimous decision, so that means that the Scottish Parliament cannot put that bill legally through Holyrood. So we are gathering a lot of political reaction here at the Scottish Parliament. And first of all, I'm joined by the leader of the Scottish Labour Party, Anna Sarwar. What is your reaction to that judgment? It came through rather more quickly than we were expecting.
I think, first of all, it's important to say that it was right for the Scottish Government to seek legal clarity on this question. And I want to thank the Supreme Court for their speedy, unanimous...
It was right for the Scottish Government to fucking...
And now we must have a focus on the two big issues facing our country, which is rising bills.
Politicians
and the NHS
crack
crisis.
me up, by the way. They speak out the sound of their mouth.
Your bills are going up when you're stuck on NHS waiting lists, so we need to confront those issues. I think the other point that's important to make is, whilst there's not a majority in Scotland for a referendum, particularly on the First Minister's timetable, while there's not a majority for independence, there is a clear majority in Scotland and across the UK against the status quo. People want change, and I can understand people's anger and frustration.
We want change, but we don't want Scotland to leave the Union.
Morally bankrupt Conservative government. The answer to that,
55% said so.
Has to be
the last time you asked us for the once in a lifetime opportunity.
The Labour government that both Scotland and the United Kingdom needs.
And in terms of today's judgment, was that the judgment that you were expecting?
I think so. I think you could tell from the Lord Advocate's position, the way she presented the case, that
guy
was
needs to blow his nose,
her
man.
view on balance as well, but I don't want to make assumptions on that. I think we can gather that assumption. I don't think it was a surprise what we got today. The challenge is what happens next. And so I'm not coming here today saying the status quo is acceptable. I'm not saying people don't demand change and people don't rightfully want change. People do want change.
Yeah, we want change. We want to get rid of the SNP dictatorship up here. No choice up here whatsoever. Lots of parties, lots of pigs at the fucking trough. No choice because of Braveheart. Thank you, Mel Gibson, you prick.
In government. And it also needs an SNP government to focus on an NHS crisis that sees 1 in 7 Scots waiting on NHS waiting lists. Alongside that, though, there is a demand for change, and we have to make sure that over the course of the next year and a half, 2 years, and lead up to that next general election, then I don't want to spend my time telling you why I believe the Tories deserve to lose or why I believe the SNP deserve to lose. I want to spend my time setting out why Labour deserves to win. That means
is
a credible
acting
plan
for ugly people and people that can't talk right as well, man.
Democratic renewal, but also for social and economic renewal.
Need some sort of a speech impediment to become a politician, I think.
Country that allows politicians, whether that's Conservative politicians or the SNP politicians, to take us down binary choices as a way of playing on people's fear, playing on people's anger, playing on people's despair. That's not the politics I believe in. I believe in all of us, and we've got to set out that change in the run-up to the next general election.
The Scottish Government and the SNP would say that all that could be done better in an independent Scotland with more powers given to the building behind us there. What would your reaction be to that?
Look, frankly, I don't agree. I don't think the answer to Tory chaos is SNP chaos. I just don't think that
fucking He-Man.
But what I would say is, I can, as I say, understand people's anger and frustration. And my appeal to people...
What people's that? With 45% of the public, you fucking prick.
But what I think, and a clear majority...
These people are unfucking believable, do you know what I mean?
But I do recognise
make it up as they go along.
This country, there are people who are frustrated with it.
There are people encourage sex
anger is driven by a rotten, economically illiterate, morally bankrupt Tory government, then we might disagree on what the final destination is.
Tory government, we've got an SNP dictatorship up here. Yeah, daft bastard. And blow your nose while you're at it.
Let's go on this part of the journey together. Let's get rid of this rotten Tory government, and let's demonstrate that we can get the United Kingdom to work for every part of this country. That includes regions within England.
Don't worry, the unions are doing their best to get rid of the fucking Tory government by getting everybody to strike.
Okay, Anna Sarwar, thank you very much.
I think we should all strike at one time and let just down tools, man. Just let the country go implode.
Does respect the decision, and we will hear from the First Minister of Scotland around
Sorry, man. I know that it's not out of order, man. It's funny.
Thank you, Alexandra. Well, let's speak to Blair Jenkins now, who was Chief Executive of Yes Scotland during the 2014 referendum. That was the group campaigning for independence.
Are you pals with Mel Gibson, mate?
Do you like very much for being with us. What's your reaction to this ruling from the Supreme Court?
The SNP are the only political party in the world that have Mel Gibson to thank for their dictatorship.
On the legal position.
Oh, fuck, Skeletor, man. Fuck, take me, have a meal.
Has to move back to where it properly belongs, which is in the political arena.
God almighty, man. Somebody get a plunger and fucking plunge his eyes out the back of his head.
Quite properly requires a
seriously, you fucking cunt looks like Skeletor. You ever seen the He-Man film?
How will that unfold? Nicola Sturgeon has said Scottish democracy will not be denied. She said in a democracy our voice cannot and will not be silenced.
Look how minging that building is. What the fuck's it meant to be?
What do you think her next move will be, which we'll hear more about probably in the next 20 minutes?
Modern day architecture, man.
Well, she's due to speak shortly, so I think well, let's wait and see what Nicola Sturgeon has to say. But I think where we are, the position we've been left in.
Seek hell, the Jimmy Cranky!
Problem. I think not just
Thank you, Mel Gibson.
For people who believe in democracy.
Mel Gibson loves the Nazis, we all know that, right? That's why he wanted SNP, the Scottish Socialist Nationalist Party.
And that's always been the belief.
Ring any bells, anybody?
If it is the case, as seems to be the case under the current law, that whatever the mandate any Scottish Parliament, any Scottish government has, that the UK government can veto a Scottish referendum, then we face a very real prospect, as things stand, of never being able to have a new independence referendum, because any UK Prime Minister...
What's this? We have no chance to have a fourth bite at a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Fuck you, Skeletor! You fucking arsehole!
Going forward, will face a more likely defeat in a Scottish referendum than David Cameron thought he faced when he went ahead with the referendum in 2012. So even if 80%, 90% of people up here say they wish independence, we now seem to be in a position where that could be ignored at Westminster because there's a right to...
Skeletor, the last time you asked us the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, it was 55% wanted to stay in the Union, you dick. Are you just fucking... do you just throw that fact out? Aye. Anyway, I want to show you that Jimmy Cranky... she really genuinely is Jimmy Cranky. The BBC confirms it. Watch this. This is brilliant.
Hello, this is Breakfast with Naga Manchetti and Charlie State.
It's 6:30. It's Friday the 14th of October. Let's tell you what's coming up on the programme. We're going to be joined by Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. We'll talk to her about plans for a second referendum
Nicola.
on independence.
Hello, Nicola Sturgeon. Seek out the SNP.
Of that particular sequence. My apologies there.
Who says the SNP... Who says the BBC, sorry, don't have a sense of humour? Right, let's listen to what Skeletor's got to say. Yes, we need a 99th once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Whew.
veto of...
See that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? That was used as scare tactics, fear-mongering.
For our ability to choose independence. Now, it seems to me that whether you support Scottish independence or not, that's a completely unacceptable situation, and something has to give here. We need a means by which people in Scotland can exercise their right to choose. We decided, in the sense, elections are about giving people a voice, and that voice was heard very clearly in the Scottish election last.
Right, this country right now needs stability. Not all this fucking... Right, we'll vote next week. Didn't get the answer we wanted. Right, we'll vote next week. Didn't get the answer we wanted. Right, we'll vote the week after. Didn't get the answer we wanted. Right. Hello, Mel Gibson. Can you do a Braveheart 2, please? We need some support up here for fucking an SNP dictatorship. Can you imagine if we get independence? We would literally be staying in a fucking one-party fucking dictatorship.
The SNP won an overwhelming victory on the basis of holding a new independence referendum. They won 85% of the Scottish constituencies, which is the equivalent of winning 550 of the 650 seats at Westminster in the general election, which nobody's done in the last 100 years. So the mandate is cast iron.
Skeletor, and to check him out, man. You need to plunger his eyes out the back of his head. Feed him some fucking porridge in the morning to keep him alive.
What is the means by which Scotland gets to choose?
We've heard from the Scotland Secretary of State, Alistair Jack, who said...
It was held and 55% of the population said no. So you're just going to keep coming back to the table every week? I don't know, let's make it a daily vote. Hello, Mel Gibson, we need a Braveheart 3. Hello, Mel Gibson, we need a Braveheart 4. I witnessed this. I was when Braveheart came out, right? I was in school at the time. It was that long ago, and I absolutely witnessed this hatred for the English just like exploding. And it wasn't just friendly rivalry, you know. It wasn't like, well, I want to beat them at football, English tramps, so on and so forth, right? Friendly rivalry. It was hatred. Hatred. You know, I'd rather suck on a French cock than have friends from down south who were probably all interbred with at some point.
The Prime Minister has made clear we will continue to work constructively with the Scottish Government in tackling all the challenges we share and face. We probably will hear more about this in PMQs a little bit later. Can the UK government offer anything to Scotland in terms of more powers, anything that would be acceptable instead of a referendum?
Well, I don't believe so, no. I mean, the issue of independence versus more devolution, these are two very, very different things. A key issue for people in Scotland now, of course, is escaping from Brexit, is the chance that we could have to rejoin the European Union, which is what the vast majority of...
Yes, let's drop the union we have with our brothers and sisters down south, and let's start eating baguettes and all that. So you're swapping one union for the other. Make sense? Is that independence? So we're not going to reclaim all the power back to the Scottish Parliament. We're going to go, thank you, Westminster. There you go, Brussels. Doesn't make sense. Nobody's thinking about this logically. All they're doing is going, freedom! Thinking of Braveheart and fucking Mel Gibson.
People in Scotland want to do. And, you know, the only way we can do that, the only way we can rejoin the European Union, the only way we can escape what I'm afraid is the ominous shambles of the UK today is to exercise our right to be an independent country.
But it's not clear that any referendum would result in independence, is it? I mean, all opinion polls show a fairly split Scotland.
I completely accept that. No, that's a very fair point, that the polls are 50-50 and we would...
It's a fair point. It's no 50-50. The last time you asked us, it was 55% stay in the Union of the UK, not the European Union, and fuck off Mel Gibson and Braveheart.
Would have to, people who believe in independence like myself, we would have to win the campaign, we'd have to win the referendum.
These people stay in a different dimension. I don't know if these actual people can hear themselves. They know they're full of shit. Well, they do, the politicians are just playing the political game.
In the UK, despite Brexit, despite Boris Johnson, despite Liz Truss and everything that's
Boris Johnson isn't the Prime Minister, you fucking Skeletor-looking bastard.
happened in recent years, then in a sense that's fine because we will have exercised our right to choose. What's not acceptable is a democracy.
We have exercised the right to choose, you daft bastards. And the fucking choice was stay in the Union of the United Kingdom.
In Scotland is being obstructed. The SNP government, the Scottish government,
stronger for Scotland, the Jimmy
election
Cranky
last year. And in the UK, we have debates, we have votes, then we have results. And results.
Yep, and we had a debate, and we had a vote. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity! How many times are you going to have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? It's mental.
Have to be respected, and there has to be a referendum.
Thank you very much for your time.
Fuck off, Skeletor.
Thank you.
Come plunge your eyes out.
People have been shot.
Right, then they're going to start talking about death and destruction. One more time for the Jimmy Cranky lovers. Who says the BBC doesn't have a sense of humour?
It's
6:30.
Whoever done this, man, high fucking five.
We're going to be joined by Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. We'll talk to her about plans for a second referendum on independence.
I'm sorry, we've very clearly run the wrong pictures of that particular sequence. My apologies there.
Now, how do you... that is no mistake. I mean, they're not just sitting there, like Jimmy Cranky wasn't on after fucking Nicola Sturgeon, do you know what I mean? Somebody done that fucking as a joke, and high five to them, by the way. So there we have it, folks. Little Jimmy Cranky doesn't... The SNP dictatorship has been slapped down with the Supreme Court, and Skeletor there thinks, we haven't had a vote. That's out of order, we haven't had a vote. Why is it indyref2? Even though it's the third. Even though it's the third. Anyway, man, that's it. That was a good morning for me, man. And the fucking rain is horrible up here, so I'm going to see if it's stopped yet so I can get off to the gym. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed that, stick a wee thumbs up. And I shall catch you on the flip side. Catches! Clips. And remember, citizens, always subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. And $9.95 plus shipping and handling will keep you ahead.